Yeah, right there. Is it Dad over here?
It is, yeah. How are you?
Not bad.
Just confirm your address for me, please. Right, okay, and your date of birth? So, job search then, how are we getting on?
Yeah. Alright.
You had an appointment arranged, didn't you, on the 21st of January, is that right?
What was
The manager?
an appointment?
Yeah, you didn't come in?
No, didn't realise there was an appointment. I asked to speak to one. She says I was told that she'd be available 10:30 the next day, but there was no.
Yeah.
There was no.
Alright, okay.
You know.
No, there was no, you know.
Yeah, you had to.
Appointment,
Yeah.
But she put down that you were going to come in and see her on the.
Well, I was told she'd be available, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember the next day, we were snowed in, weren't we?
Yeah, it had snowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was up Eldwick at the time, so I weren't coming down that day.
Right, okay. So, what have you been doing on your job search then?
Bear with me, I'll get to you in a sec. Is Michelle available this morning?
No, she's not.
Is she in today?
I haven't seen her yet. Why, do you still want to see her?
Oh yeah, I've got to see her, yeah. Right, just keep that in order for me, because I've become familiar with it in that order. Please, thank you.
Is this what you've done in the last 2 weeks, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, okay. You getting any responses from any of these then, or?
No, not really. I get calls now and again, but they end quite quickly when they get to my availability. Well, I've got children at weekends, so if they ask me if I can do Saturdays and I say no, it discourages them from considering me for employment.
You're applying for shop managers?
Well, duty, not store managers. It's out of my skill set and I don't meet the availability for that.
What do you mean duty?
A supervisor, a duty manager would be responsible for a shift, not running the stores. A huge significant difference between a duty manager, a deputy manager and a store manager.
Right, but the availability would still be required on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah? So why are you applying for jobs that need you to be available on a Saturday?
I don't understand what's available for Saturday.
Well, the jobs that you're applying for
Yeah.
require Saturday cover, so why are you applying for
No,
them if you're not available?
well, some of them don't, but that doesn't mean that occasionally I get sick of not applying for them and maybe go on and apply for them, and even though they've requested Saturdays, maybe I could talk them round. You got to try, haven't you? Nothing wrong with trying, is there? Well, is there something wrong with applying for work just because they request a Saturday on it?
If you're saying you can't do it,
Right, so what's your point? What are you asking me?
I'm asking you why you put a lot of effort into jobs that require you to work a Saturday when you can't work a Saturday.
I'm not just applying for jobs that are requesting for Saturdays, am I?
Well, looking at these, retail merchandiser, store manager, retail sales assistant, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, retail sales 8, 9. I mean, that's just on a couple of pages.
So what's your point?
What my point is, you're not available for those jobs.
That doesn't mean I can't apply for them.
Yeah, but you've got to be available for jobs that you apply for.
Yeah.
You're signing on to say that you're available for work and you're actively seeking work.
Yeah.
What you're doing here is you're actively seeking work, but you're not making yourself available for all the jobs that you're applying for.
I don't understand what you mean. How am I not making myself available?
Because you're not available on a Saturday. You just told me, you're telling them that you're not available on a Saturday.
Yeah. So if they phone me up and say, can you work Saturdays,
Yeah?
even if it's a job that never mentioned it in the description.
Come on, read between the lines.
No, you read between the lines. If you got a point to make it. Otherwise,
I'm making it.
forget it.
You're just not getting it.
Right, well maybe you're not explaining it well enough for me then.
You're applying for jobs
Yeah.
that on the whole, it may not say it in the advert,
On the
but
whole
on
what?
the whole, require you to work on a Saturday or even a Sunday.
That doesn't mean I can't apply for them.
But you're not making yourself available for them.
But
You have to be available for work and actively seeking work. There is a doubt as
Right,
to your
hold your
availability.
tongue a minute, right? So if someone phones me up and says you've applied for this job and it'll require you a certain amount of Saturdays, and I say I respect that, unfortunately I can't work Saturdays, but I still applied for the job because I feel that I like the job, to consider the job, and I would like to go for it. I hope that's not a problem. I'm not available for Saturdays. That didn't want to stop me from being enthusiastic and determined to try and still get a job. And now you're going to hold that against me? Is that what you're saying?
I am, yeah.
Right, okay. Well, you make your claim on paper, I'll respond on paper. What's your next subject of topic?
I'm challenging you on your availability.
Right, well, you've challenged, I've answered. Make whatever conclusions you want from that, and then we'll move on to the next point. If you've got a claim, make it on paper. You've asked me a question, I've answered you, and I don't feel I want to be interrogated on this anymore.
There.
You're a work coach, not an advisor. You're not a mental health physician. You're not
I have
a doctor.
Listen to me. I have a responsibility to ensure that you meet the conditions
Right.
that you
And it's a fair enough question, but in the tone that you're using, it feels like an interrogation. Now, I asked a question and I give you a very reasonable, articulable response, and this does feel like an interrogation. Now, if you've got a point, make it. That's fine. That's your job.
I've made the point.
But if you make a statement and I respond with reasonable, articulable reasons, and then you still don't have a point to make after, there's no point in going on about this subject anymore. If you've got a claim to make, put it on paper. I'll respond on paper. It'll be written form.
Okay, we'll see where we go.
Right,
okay?
we'll see where we go.
So, finished.
We're finished.
Yeah.
Have you put my payment through on the system?
I will do.
Right. Are there any other claims or suspicions that you'd like to raise with me today before I leave, Daryl?
You've really got an issue, haven't you?
I think you've got an issue.
You've really got an issue.
I think most of the staff in here, you're not all bad, you're inherently good human beings, but you need to stop focusing on procedures to try and sanction and get a little bit more support through
to make sure that you're available and actively seeking work, and that's what I'm doing.
and you're not carrying that responsibility is being conducted in a form that leads me to believe in being interrogated. Because you've asked a reasonable enough question and I answered, but the tone in which you are using against me leads me to believe that you're interrogating me.
Your answer is not a reasonable answer.
Right, well, before I leave, do you have any claims or suspicions you'd like to raise with me before I leave today?
Just go.
Just go.
Just go. Yeah? I've had enough of you.
You've had enough of me?
Yeah. That's it, write it down.
It's getting more than written down, it's recorded, mate. I'm sick of you guys. I'm not having it from you anymore. A bit of respect I shouldn't have to ask for it, should I? It should be given automatically. You need to stop focusing on your response for your procedures on sanctions. Because when I leave here,
I asked you a standard question.
And I answered it.
Jobs, you're not getting any responses. But you don't want responses.
I do get responses.
You've told me that you can't do the job because you're not available on a Saturday. Which raises a question about your availability.
Will you get that on paper and make your claim? If you've got an accusation to make it, but don't sit there and interrogate me like I'm not doing my job search. I bet you any money, my job search here, in quantity and quality, amounts to most of the people that they've got down there combined. I challenge you now to go down there and take my work job search and compare it to what they've got there. And I bet mine knocks them down dead with the quality and quantity of the effort here.
Yeah, but if you're not available, what's the point? Have you finished? Finished, yeah. Okay.
Is Michelle available just now?
No, she's not. I can book you in if you like. Book an appointment.
Yeah, I'd appreciate if you could book me an appointment, please.
Yeah.